Oh my gosh. How dare you break his mirror? What do I feel like he's gonna use it and slap him with it? I would love to see that happen. Hi everyone, my name is Mimi and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be reacting to Classroom of the Elite Season 2, Episode 11, A Man Who Cannot Command Himself Will Always Be a Slave. That is true. And last episode we met his father. He came and tried to get him to leave the school. But then the chairman showed up, and it turns out that the chairman was the queen's father, and he's the reason why Ayanokoji is at the school currently. So after that meeting, he basically decided to give up being like wanting to go to class A because the teacher was the one that was threatening him, and that threat is now gone, so he doesn't care about doing everything possible to go to class A anymore. And he told what was her name again? Karuizawa, that the phone call that the last phone call that he gave her, like he called her and then he told her that that was his last phone call with her and everything. So that's what happened last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys like my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/feelingmini. And now let's start this episode, and here we go.
Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comment in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review.
We'll see how long that's gonna last. Then the music stops. So I get that you're not gonna be calling her anymore, asking her to do things, but I don't know, do you have to be that cold? You still are interacting in class and everything. I don't know. And Koenji leaves. Okay. Is it going after Koenji?
さすがにまずいんじゃない今の。
そうだね。清高、ちょっと様子を見に行ってみないか。そうだな。監視の目が多いと言っても絶対じゃないしな。俺も行く。お前は教室に残った方がいいんじゃないか。山内みたいな賑やかしの生徒たちまで来ると騒ぎも大きくなりやすいんじゃないかと思う。
He's still participating and doing things, right? I mean, he's still giving advice.
ご覧の通り、俺たちは何もしちゃいないぜ。なんだい君たちはもらうぜ。変人。変人とは私のことかな。お前以外にいないだろう。
Maybe this will reveal more about Koenji? Oh my gosh. How dare you break his mirror? What do I feel like he's gonna use it and slap him with it? I would love to see that happen. The queen?
随分と面白そうな組み合わせですね。
引っ込んでろよ。まだお前に用はない。
そうおっしゃらなくてもいいじゃありませんか。私もお仲間に加えていただけません？
本題に入ろうか。状況から察するに、D クラス内から君の邪魔をする存在が現れた。私は君のお眼鏡にかなわない。なぜなら、どのクラスの行く末にも全く興味がないんだ。
Incapable of caring?
戦場での特別試験はどう説明する？ネタは上がってるんだよ。
What
あ
do
れ
they
は
do?
単なる暇つぶしだよ。つまりお前が D クラスを支配していないという保証はどこにもない。けどもし君がそう結論づける人間であれば、それは君がその程度の頭脳しか持っていない。間抜け。物分かりが良くて嫌いじゃないよ、ドラゴンボーイ。無意味に暴力で支配しようとしたら、それこそナンセンスな質問だね。
I feel like it's not that easy to push.
仮に君がその選択をす
You
るの
regret
だ
it?
としたら、私は私自身とプライドを守るため、向かってくる者全員をノック。
I would love to see that.
お前一人にやれる
Somehow I feel like he can.
俺とは違う方向に狂った人間。お前じゃないのなら誰だ？間抜けずらしてついてきたこの連中の中にいるのか？
You gonna say it or not?
クラスの中にいる切れ者をドラゴンボーイさんが探しているという噂は聞きを読んでいましたが、
それとお前が次にその呼び方をしたら殺すぜ。
気に入りません。
You call me that?
ドラゴンボーイ。
Oh, okay.
もう一度呼んだら殺すと言ったはずだぜ。
What is it about Dragon Boy?
今のあなたの行動は大問題よ。何か問題行動がありました？橋本くん。
いえ、自分が一人で転んだだけです。
リュウエン君もあなたたちもどうかしてるわ。
奴が俺の探してる相手なら行かせたりしねえよ。
Why?
私には怪しかったように見えるけどね。
Why wouldn't he go anywhere?
わかんないよ。
お前ら高円寺をどう思う？さっきからお前ら何ごちゃごちゃ言ってんだよ。
リュウエン君、あなたの行動は常軌を逸してる。理解に苦しむわ。
俺は今日でだいぶ候補を絞り込んだぜ、スズネ。お前の後ろに潜む存在に。
それよりも今後クラスメイトに近づくのはやめてもらっていいかしら。
近づくも近づかないもフィナーレを楽しみにしてな。
I love his face.
一ノ瀬や坂柳は俺に興味を抱き始めているが、
Yep.
問題が残っているとすれば龍炎。
のは空振りだ。
潔いじゃない。諦めるの？
いいや、何を使っても潰す。ペーパーシャッフルの後、 D クラスの生徒のうち見張るべきターゲットに手駒を張り付かせた。
何考えてんの？
楽しんでる最中だ。
Yukizaki Daichi? Who's that? Do I know that person?
何をするのかいい加減教えなさいよ。
気になるか？餌を呼び出した。同時に黒幕にもメールを入れている。
それ乗ってくるの？で、具体的に何するの？
餌を潰す、あるいは黒幕ごとまとめて潰す。
What the?
これで監視の目は消えた。
あんたの読み通り餌が来ればいいけどね。
来るさ、待つだけだ。
Is what I was worried about for Karuizawa gonna be happening this episode?
真鍋たちに何を聞いたか知らないけど、心当たりなんてないから。
無視する手もあったよな。
だが高校デビューの元いじめられっ子だったってことは、ここにいる連中はみんな知ってる。何よ。何が目的？私を脅してあんたたちに得があるっての？
暇つぶしだ、軽井沢。お前と鈴音の裏に隠れている奴の正体を話せ。そうすればお前の過去はこれ以上広まらない。
私はいじめられてもいないし、そもそも黒幕とか言われても。
証拠もある。 俺が欲しいのは黒幕の正体だけだ。本来お前の過去に興味はない。
何回聞かれても答えは同じ。私は何も知らない。いい加減ほどいてよ。
関係のすべて捨てる勇気はあるか。
So what if people knew that you've been bullied?
けど確実な正体に近づけないから私に接触してきた。なら簡単にそのチャンスを捨てるとは思えない。
なるほど。今日ここでお前に吐かせる。俺を甘く見るなよ。この学校は一見規律に守られた仕組みに見えるが、少し頭の切れる奴らは常に実験を繰り返し試行錯誤している。トラウマってやつは言葉よりも体験によってより強く目覚める。
清高。
これからどっか行く？カラオケとか。キヨポンはどう？
行くか。
やめて。
いい顔だ、軽井沢。もう一度尋ねる。黒幕は誰だ？
そんな人いない。
いじめに慣れたお前にはこの程度じゃ大して感じないか。
黒幕の正体を確かめたら帰るから。
俺は俺の快楽のために軽井沢家を壊す。
As you could probably tell, I was not talkative at all from a certain point in this episode because that's how I get. When I get upset, I don't feel like talking, and I'm upset. I am. I've been saying this for what I feel like is forever, that I hate the character of Ryuen. Like, I hate him. Which is why this episode, when that one moment where Ryuen broke Koenji's mirror, I said that I thought for a second that he would pick up the mirror and sort of like backhand him with it. And I feel like I said that because that's what I want to do to him. Like when I saw him do that, I'm like, if it was me, I would just pick it up and backhand him with it. Like, I don't like him. And I said it in a, I said what I thought was going to happen during the previous episode was that Karuizawa was going to be bullied, right? Because we saw Ryuen pick up his phone and looking at a picture of Karuizawa and saying that he was going to use her to find out who the mastermind is. So I was expecting last episode that he was going to be bullying Karuizawa in order to get to Ayanokoji. But that didn't happen last episode. So going into this episode, I was just wondering what Ayanokoji was going to be doing from now on, because he said the last episode that he was not going to be actively helping Class D go to Class A, and then he told Karuizawa that that was their last phone call. So I was wondering what his next steps were going to be, or how long he's going to have to stay out of the politics of Class D and Class C and Class A, like all the classes and everything. So going into this episode, you see him basically ignoring Karuizawa. When Karuizawa said hi, he just said like hi and just walked past her, and you could see that she was upset with that, you know. But then you also see him when Ryuen showed up in the class, and then Koenji left, and then Ryuen told his minions to go after Koenji, and some of the class members were like, we need to go and basically witness what's gonna happen. And Ayanokoji was gonna go, and Hirata was also gonna go, but then Ayanokoji told him it's better that he stays in the class. So with him giving advice like that, I'm thinking, okay, he's still not sort of like completely, he hasn't completely backed off of the class and everything. He's still giving advice and all of that. So I'm like, okay, he's still doing things, you know. So when they go to where Ryuen and his minions were, when they cornered Koenji, and he was basically wanting to know if Koenji was the mastermind. And then you have Sakayanagi also show up with her cliques. And I'm wondering, okay, with the questioning that Ryuen was making and with the answers that Koenji was giving, it's like you know that there's something about Koenji, right? We know as the audience that he's not the mastermind of Class D, but you also know that there's something about him, you know. And when at one point Ryuen threatened physical violence, and Koenji's response to that, I'm like, I can't wait to see. Like I was wanting that to happen, you know, for Ryuen and his minions to try something, try to beat up Koenji, and to see Koenji defend himself and beat them all down. Because I feel like the way he spoke, I feel like he could probably do it. We know he's an athletic person. You know, we saw him how he basically swung his way and swam his way out of the island, you know. So you know he's a physical person. So I'm assuming that he could take those people on, you know, if he were to come to a physical fight. So I was wondering that, I was wanting that to happen, but it didn't. And then Koenji left. Um Everyone, well, before he left, at one point Koenji called Ryuen, what did it call? Dragon Boy. I didn't particularly notice Ryuen being upset with that. But when Sakayanagi called him the same thing, he got upset with her. And I'm like, what is it with Dragon Boy that's upsetting him so much? Is it something that they've called him before that Koenji knows about? And he used it to sort of like needle him a little bit, but then he wasn't really upset, it seemed like, with Koenji when he called him that. But then when Sakayanagi was calling him that, that's when he got upset, and then he wanted to hit Sakayanagi, but then one of her minion got in the way, took the hit, and when Sakayanagi asked his minion what happened, he's like, oh, I just tripped and fell, because you had Suzune there that was like, this is not right, basically. And they may, Sakayanagi had the guy said that because, you know, that's if they who were hit are saying, oh, it's nothing, then the school is not going to do anything about it, you know. And Susune was just like, you know what, let's go. And all the while, Ayanokoji is just there watching everything happen with his expressionless face, of course. So they all left, they all dispersed. You had, well, what was her name again? Ibuki? Ibuki there asking Ryuen, all kinds of questions about what his plans are, what he's doing. And internally, I couldn't help but ask myself if she is really with Ryuen, or if someone else is, or if she has an agenda, like if someone else is pulling her strings. I don't know. There's just something about her line of questioning that just makes me suspicious of her, you know? And then when Ryuen texted, he said he texted Karuizawa, and then he texted Ayanokoji, and then Karuizawa showed up by herself and put herself in that situation where now she's being bullied and tortured, because that's torture. First of all, they brought the temperature down where they were, and then pour, pour, they poured water on her in that cold environment, so she's feeling cold, she's trembling, and then they put something over her head and her mouth and pour water over her, which is, that's asphyxiation, so they are torturing her. And meanwhile, she is hanging on. And now Ryuen is dragging her someplace. And then you have Ibuki there just watching everything. And then she's like, once I know who the mastermind is, I'm leaving. Why? Why does she want to know who the mastermind is? And you're all there watching him torture this girl, and it seemed like you don't care. Or even if you do, it doesn't surpass your need of wanting to know who the mastermind is. And then you had Ryuen dragging Karuizawa off, saying that he's gonna have to take pleasure in torturing her. And then you have Ayanokoji as well, whose group is like, let's go do something, and he's like, okay, but that he must also have received the message that Ryuen sent, although I don't know what that message is. Clearly he should have received it, but he still said, okay, let's go do whatever it is that they're gonna do. So I don't know. I want to believe that he's not gonna let Karuizawa be bullied like all throughout and not do anything. But then he's also cold enough that he could let that happen and not do anything and not reveal himself. But if that's the case, if Ayanokoji is willing to let Karuizawa suffer in order to keep his identity secret, would Karuizawa keep her mouth shut, being tortured like that, and not reveal Ayanokoji? I don't know. Either way, like I said, I hate Ryuen. I want someone to beat the crap out of him, just like he beats the crap out of a whole bunch of people. I want him to taste that, see how good it feels beaten and battered and tortured. Someone needs to do that to him. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/feelimini if you want to see my reaction to the very next episode. It's already uploaded there, and the link to that is going to be in the pinned comment below. And you can also catch up with all my previous Classroom of the Elite reactions. There's a playlist in the comment as well. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. It's a shame that they lost her head. A careless man who ain't dead. You wear your sin like some kind of